Loading. Start video transmission. We are live. It might be a little bit like laggy, but the audio should be clear, and that is honestly
That's what matters.
That's what matters.
Yep.
I'll deal with the rest next time. Streamlabs OBS though, this seems
Here
pretty
we
nice.
go.
Yeah, right? It's working, right? We'll see.
Yes, there we
We'll
go.
get confirmation.
Straight out.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And we're gonna have a good time with all this chaos.
Hey, look, a little
this is
bit
how
of
we learn.
chaos.
This
That's
is-
some spice.
Yeah, exactly. Live now. Oh, God. Yeah, I'm gonna retweet you as well. Today we are gonna be talking about some really cool things. I was mostly amused with the Epic, the final decision from the courts on the Epic versus Apple debacle.
Well, give us a rundown on this, Pocket, because I don't know too much about it. I know it's a thing, but
Yeah.
it's not something I've looked into. So
Okay.
I'll be happy for you to educate me.
So essentially, Epic was, I mean, they really jumped the gun. They were like, okay, Apple has an unfair policy of taking 30% from all of its in-game purchases. So every dollar that Fortnite makes on Apple devices, 30 cents of it goes to Apple.
Yeah,
right.
It's just crazy. But also, Epic decided to pull themselves out and just be like, yeah, we don't care about your policy. We're just going to say you guys can go and like get buy the gems from us on our site, and Apple doesn't get a cut there.
Okay.
Yeah, and so Apple was obviously pissed off and banned them from the App Store. And what was interesting about this is that they kind of jumped the gun there. Instead of like appealing, they just immediately were like, no, not happening. So the court was like, I believe initially the court was like, okay, this is not the way you go about things, right? This is not, you don't just violate, I guess, the terms of service because you disagree with them.
Right.
So like when they got kicked out of the App Store, then they filed a lawsuit, and it was like they need to file the lawsuit, I believe, beforehand. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. And so it was this. I mean, it's been a year of them debating back and forth about this lawsuit. Sorry, they've been in trial for like a year or something. Fortnite even made a skin, a bad Apple skin.
Oh my gosh. Pulling no punches.
I know.
Yeah, exactly. Which that's actually how I got into Fortnite, because I was like, of all things, this is kind of like a historical skin. I kind of want this petty. It's called Bad Apple. Skin. So yeah.
If anything,
you've got to appreciate their sense of humor.
Yeah, exactly. So everyone who's viewing at home right now, the video might be choppy, but the audio seems to be correct. Fine. Is that correct? I can work on the video, the audio. But just let me know that the audio is working fine, because it seems to be working fine by me. Stephanie, welcome. Okay. So we have a bunch of things that we're going to talk about today, but before we do that, I know we talked a little bit about Apple, but we've got to talk about you guys. the topic. Welcome to internet in the year 1999, the early Skype days.
Yeah.
Yes. For some reason, my video is choppy, but that seems to be the only thing right now that's an issue. We can deal with that, but anywho, welcome to podcast episode 22. Some crazy stuff going on, and for you, we have brought Iznib, the FunkyBunchShow, and My170. How are you all doing today? Let's go around and tell people a little bit about yourselves. I guess let's start with my 170. Maybe I can change the like video preferences while we do this. My 170. Tell them a little bit about your channel. Oh, you're muted, my 170. I realized that's why we haven't heard him for a while. Iznib, I guess, go first, and then we'll see if when my 170.
Certainly, Pocket, not a problem. Would let Mike sort his mic out there.
Yeah, Mike.
Hello, everyone. It is I, Iznib. I have returned to, I don't want anyone to think that I'm not the champion.
You are the champion.
Of PockCast.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, finally. There you go.
There we go.
Yeah.
I think my gain was muted, but there it's fixed now.
Yeah.
Excellent. But yes, I have returned to defend my championship belt. I'm not precious about it. If somebody else wants to try and take it, that's absolutely fine. But yes, I am a variety streamer extraordinaire, friend to all.
Yes.
Literally just had my 1-year streamiversary yesterday. So things are going good. Looking forward to year 2. Anybody doesn't know me, feel free to get to know me. I'm currently playing through the entirety of the Final Fantasy series. That's taken up a lot of time. We've already been at it for a year. Probably got another 6 months to go or so. Absolutely loving it. Everyone else is loving it. But I'm also very excited to try other things. I'm also currently playing the Borderlands series with my very good friends Casual Mer and Steph Babies. That's going great as well. Very excited to be a streamer and to know everybody.
Streamer life is best life. Sorry.
Yes, Pocket. My God, yes. You are absolutely right, sir. I think that basically covers everything. I think, Pocket.
That's a better introduction that I could give for myself.
Excellent.
Better introduction that I can give for quite possibly anyone. I guess let's move along. We stop. Mike, would you like to?
Yeah, there we go. I'm back now, so now you can hear me. So yes,
Welcome
my name is Mike, MY170. I'm a bit of a retro Nintendo streamer. I'm a bit of a retro Nintendo streamer myself, mostly specializing in RPGs and Mario Maker. And also, if you come to mind, you mostly see a lot of Pokemon and Fire Emblem and a bunch of other games as well.
You cut out on Fire Emblem. You said Fire Emblem is
Fire Emblem, Mario Maker, Zelda, and Kingdom Hearts and other kinds of games like that of that sort.
Yeah. Good times, I guarantee.
Currently, we're doing Pokemon and Pokemon Emerald and Ukulele in the Impossible Lair.
How is that?
It's fun so far. If you like Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, and you'll like, I'm gonna be playing it later tonight. So
apparently, it's good for like old school Donkey Kong as well.
Absolutely, yeah. It's very. If you're a fan of the older Donkey Kongs, you'll like that too.
Donkey Kong is so weird. For some reason, they had that glitch where you jump, you like roll, and then you'll roll off something and you'll jump, and that's a mechanic in Donkey Kong Country.
It's very strange.
It's very strange, but I never thought twice about it growing up. But it's like a fundamental mechanic, and I think they asked like the developers, I don't know which thing I was watching where like developers were originally talking about it, and they're like, yeah, it just felt right, so we did it. Yeah.
Why not?
Why not? Absolutely. And last but far from least, we have FunkyBunchShow. How are you doing on this here choppy day?
Oh, I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, all things considered.
Yeah.
Like, man, all the technical difficulties, I am glad. I am just beyond glad to have a choppy stream. The audio is really what matters to me right now.
The audio is coming in perfect.
Because you can just listen.
Exactly.
I guess you could just listen.
Yeah.
That's true.
So tell them a little bit about your stream before we do anything,
Yeah, so hi everyone. I am Mark, aka Funky Bunch, and I host the FunkyBunchShow. I'm a variety streamer. Play a little bit of everything. I try to play games that I've never played before, at least make that half of what I play. So I am doing a exploration of the Nintendo GameCube, and I am starting my journey with that because I went from a NES as a child to a PlayStation 2, so I missed every console generation between that.
Oh my God. NES to PlayStation 2?
Yeah.
A lot of ground to cover.
Oh,
yeah. A lot of ground to cover.
Yeah, where's your? I was gonna say the Sega. Where's your Sega Game Gear, man? What's the?
Yeah, so I had a Game Boy, but only for Pokemon Red and Blue, that I purchased myself. And my brother had a Game Gear, but played it only a little bit. So yeah, and then once I got a PS2, I was like, oh, this is awesome. This is a huge step up from a Nintendo.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a step up. Also in terms of like quality of game design evolved because with the original NES, like it was based around
very limited.
It was weird, right? Because you just came past the quarter sinking period in the arcades, and then you had the NES where I think games were like $80 or something stupid like that.
After inflation or like.
You might have to look that up. I think it's.
Let me find that.
Either way, games were expensive. Yeah, sorry, Funky Bunch.
Right. Well, I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, I remember. So my brother got a Nintendo. I think it was like an '88, the year I was born.
Yeah.
And then, I think that he said that even at that time, it was still like $50 for a game in 1990 or whatever.
Here's this article I found. How much does NES games cost? So NES games in the 80s range from $10 for budget games to $60 for the best games available. On average, though, people will pay about $40 for the new NES game.
So that's inflation. That's inflation.
So, well, let me see. Hang on. Yeah, because after inflation, it's $200 for a game.
Yeah, exactly. So what I was looking at is old then. So it was an expensive game, and so the games back then, they were not built around being good. They were built around being hard. You
spend more time playing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You feel like it's not a waste of your money, yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? Like even into Super Nintendo, like I feel lucky to have had that feeling of like, you know what? I've got Lawnmower Man and I'm working on this first level. Maybe someday I'll beat it. Maybe someday I'll beat the first level of Lawnmower Man. But like, yeah, that's what it was.
Wait, that was actually a game? I looked it up. It's like a movie.
Yeah, so Lawnmower.
Oh, there were multiple Lawnmower Man games.
I think there was one for each console.
The first time I typed it in, I found a book. I found a movie based off a book.
Yes.
By Stephen King.
It's a Stephen King book. Okay. Yeah.
Well, Stephen King. So I don't know why I know this. Useless facts, I guess.
Do it.
Stephen King actually sued the movie studio to remove his name from the movie. Because he was like, you just took a title that I wrote essentially and a little bit of a short story I wrote, and you tried to make it into this movie that you already kind of had in development. And you just, in order to sell it, you just slap my name on it. And and apparently they said, sorry, we're not going to do it. And so he's like, so he sued them. And in court, the judge said, you have to do this. Otherwise, we're going to charge you. I think it was like $1,000 a day. We're going to fine you for every day that you have Stephen King's. And so they took it off. And then I guess for the home release, they put it back on Stephen King's The Lawnmower Man. So I can just see Stephen King being like, no.
He was probably on something. I mean, it was the 90s.
Oh, he was, yeah.
It was the 90s. Stephen King's best works, I think he's like, I don't know what I was, don't quote me on this, but I think he was just like so much on a different plane, let's just put it that way, that he just like doesn't remember it. And that's, you can like see all of that in the literature itself. Like how whacked out he was at the time. Like look at It.
Yes.
Look at It, the movie It, the book It. I mean, it is a clown from space. It's a shape-shifting clown from space. Like, where are you coming up with that? Where are you coming up with that?
But you defeat with the power of your imagination.
Yes, yeah. But not only that, like there's like they have to like conquer their fears, but there's also weird like sexual stuff in it. Sorry, Funky Bunch.
Right. Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, to tie this back into video games.
Yeah.
How come there was never an It video game? I think that would be ripe for a good like RPG story focused game.
It would probably be like Friday the 13th. Sorry, go on, Mike.
Oh no, I was just agreeing with you there.
Oh yeah, no, I feel like they would not. I feel like it would be a great RPG game. I don't think they would do that. I think they would do something like Friday the 13th for the NES. I feel like they would do like a weird horror game,
right?
Like Clock Tower-esque. Whatever it would be bad.
But it's surprising they just didn't. You know,
yeah,
I think of all the awful horror game back then they just cashed in on.
Yeah.
But I personally think like now we're with how good horror games have gotten, like like graphics and that sort of thing, and just sort of how they can develop like mood and all that sort of. I think it would be great for something like that.
Yeah, I think it'd be great. I mean, but what are the mechanics? I mean, I guess an RPG game you could do, but like if you did a horror game, the mechanics I would not know. An RPG, I guess, yeah. Yeah. It's so easy to make bad horror games. It's so easy to make bad things. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Sween in the chat. Man, I love that topic. Yeah. So I guess I was just saying that like games. Right? Yeah. Games back in the NES era and that early era, the game design was just totally different. So when you come back to the PlayStation 2 era, where a lot of things have been ironed out. The first 3D platformer is already gone, and you've got things like Jak and Daxter and Ratchet and Clank, and Halo.
Well, that was Xbox, but
oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
But still, same generation.
Same generation.
It's just so different. It's just so different. So we're glad to have you back. So we were just talking about the Epic dispute.
Yeah.
And go on, Mike.
Yeah, so so basically I'm still unsure of what exactly. So I know what the story was like. The results, I'm still not exactly sure what happened myself. As far as I'm aware, they ruled in favor that that they can't take such a cut. That Apple can't take a big cut from any and they have to allow third-party app developers. Explain exactly what happened.
Yeah, so I think I mean, someone correct me if I'm wrong. I think what actually happened was they both lost, because I've seen a bunch of different things. Like people were saying that like Apple is the one who lost, but they're allowed to. Apps are now allowed to link to other payment options. That is the kind of decision, which doesn't mean that the 30% is gone. And someone can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe that's what it's a little confusing. You can take a look at, I looked at the full breakdown, and it was like that there is the monopoly, people calling Apple monopoly isn't true. And I believe it's because it's a duopoly, which I'm not sure if that's any better.
Yeah,
because it's
slightly.
Yeah, right. Because it's Apple and Android. So like.
And then in this article that you sent us, it also kind of includes Nintendo Switch in that too. Saying that it.
Yeah, they don't. They have what are their practices, or what does it say about them?
Well, it just says in this that it essentially said that Apple doesn't have a monopoly on mobile gaming.
Yeah.
Android and Nintendo Switch.
That's a big stretch on the Switch, though.
It's a big stretch on the Switch. The Switch. Yeah. I would say, I'm not a judge, but I would say mobile gaming, you'd need a connection to the internet for, because it's just like that's an entire section of predatory games.
Yeah.
But yes, technically it is a mobile device. Yeah. So, of course, Fortnite and Epic are filing for a plea or whatever. They're not settling for that. So we'll see how that goes.
So from what I've seen here, this is from a takeaway from a Reddit post. Basically, the whole point of the case was that Epic argued that Apple was like, in the sense of monopoly, limiting fees on transactions that can be put in place.
Yeah.
And Apple's case was Apple disputed that, and in the end, so basically, in the end, what happened was with Epic is here. The court, I'm just reading exactly what it says so I don't misconstrue it. The court rejected Apple improperly limited distribution and should allow direct downloads inside the App Store. Instead, the judge, so basically, the judge gave a partial victory, saying Apple can't block developers for sending users out apps. And the direct payments Epic took off to kick off the lawsuits and giving the App Store a 30% cut, they have to pay back. And in Apple won in the sense that they were not ruled a monopoly. However, the restrictions they put in place were viewed as anti-competitive, and they have to loosen some of their rules. So essentially, they both won and lost in some way.
Well, yeah, I think that Apple ends up losing here. Actually, you know what? No, they end up winning. They really end up winning because they have such a hold.
Yeah,
and
I also think that people that use Apple devices, I don't think that they're super concerned about the quote walled.
Yeah, I mean,
walled garden.
They probably own Apple everything.
Well, and not just that, but I also don't think that they're going to be like, man, I mean, because they have the percentage of people that use iPhones is ridiculous. I think and to be an app developer, you're going to develop for an iPhone.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna do it. You're gonna try and do it for both, but you're gonna say either. Okay, we're gonna.
It does depend. Yeah. It gets to demographics and this is outdated, but it used to be that the high spending people would be on the iPhone and the larger demographic of people was on Android. And one unique thing is that talking to the people from Goose Goose Duck, it's Goose Goose Duck, I think. Which is it's an Among Us clone essentially.
Oh right, that's a game.
Yeah. They are kind of crippled because they're not on the mobile devices while Among Us was. And so that's their next thing. So people, depending on the game that you're putting out, there are like these weird factors that you end up having to understand. I guess that's my little 2 cents there.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing with Epic is that I think they actually tried to circumvent Google as well, because with Android you can sideload apps that you just download off the internet.
Yeah, and that's why I think they might have
tried to do that.
I
think they tried to sue Google too.
Yeah, but it's much less than the Apple thing because Android does allow you. I actually tested it out. I mean, not that anybody really cares, but I sideloaded it. It feels weird because I think you need to allow unknown sources.
Yes.
Which is never a comfortable thing. But yeah, you can totally sideload anything onto an Android. That's actually how I got my screen name in Pokemon Go. I sideloaded the APK in the trial period, and I was able to get usernames before it was actually at launch to the public. So
okay,
yeah, so it's one silly thing I'm proud of. Yeah.
Pokemon Go. Remember when that brought the whole world together for a summer?
I remember how that was
5 years ago. It's crazy.
5 years ago. Jeez. Yeah, it's man, my friends had kids after that.
I know,
they got married and they had kids.
Yeah. I wonder how many calories were burned. If there was a statistic.
I'm sure
of how many calories were burned.
People were definitely walking around a lot. I definitely was.
I still do it. I'm actually gonna head over after this. I'm gonna see a Broadway show, and before Lion King.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I want to see I haven't been to a Broadway show in about About 5 years. No, not 5. 3 years.
I'm very lucky. My mod was working on it and got like rehearsal tickets or something. So Broadway isn't even open.
Okay.
So I think this is a rehearsal. So
You still get to see a show.
yeah, no, it'll be really cool. Yeah, but I'll be walking around before then. And that's what I do. I'll take out my why not? I'll take out my phone and go on Pokemon Go. Which, by the way, can we note how little of a game Pokemon Go is? We'll note about that just 1 second to answer the comments. iPhones are fun, but I've never specifically. I don't know. They feel too closed off for me to ever have one. But they're very good devices. Burnt Toast said, "Did I miss the Sony Showcase chat?" No, you did not.
No,
you are still here in time. You missed me trying to get a computer to work, a separate computer. So Burnt Toast is the person who helped me last time fix everything with the podcast, and this is me switching to a whole new computer, and yet we have this lag. So we're getting there.
Is that just your internet, or is it just? Whatever.
No. So this is the great thing. Last time it was the computer connecting to the internet. This time the internet is fine. I swear it's just a setting that I have to lower to allow the choppiness to go away. And Burnt Toast says back when 3G came out, and welcome to 3G. This is 3G video right here.
Yeah.
Back in 2009, that's great.
Yeah. And so we can continue on to the Pokemon Go thing. I was going to say, I don't even understand Pokemon Go, and yet I still play it. You know?
Mm-hmm.
You just walk around and you flick the screen. That's the entire game. That's the entire game.
Yeah. But, it's Pokemon themed, so why not? I respect it, Pocket. I think how many players got swept up in the hype, which is cool. But then they're like, I'm bored now. And yet here we have Pocket 5 years later.
Oh my God.
He's still trying to catch them all.
I still said that too. So.
Oh, dear, mate. Excellent. Well, good on you, bud. I unfortunately never played it. I was very hyped about it. And in fact, I read an
You've
article.
never played it?
Never played Pokemon Go, Pocket, no. I heard of it before everybody else did. Not everybody.
Okay.
Maybe you guys did. I heard an article like 6 months, a year, 18 months before it was released.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wow. Explain the gist of the game. I was like, that sounds amazing. Pokemon on your phone.
Yeah.
And the Pokemon are dependent on where you are geographically located.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
When it was released, physically capable. Well, I mean, I could have downloaded it and played it, but the hardware of my phone was so rudimentary that I didn't even want to try
You gotta take a look at it.
So I completely missed out on it.
Mm-hmm.
But in my small town that I lived, there was people walking around in the evening.
Yeah.
Let's get together and have a little Pokemon hike. So I thought it was bad I missed out on the whole thing, but it is what it is.
But you haven't missed out. And I'd almost want to do a video of just you playing it for a day and being
my first reaction.
Your first reaction to Pokemon Go 5 years in. I would do that video. I would love to do that. That sounds great. And you download it for a day, play it for a day, and then let me know. I'm so in. It's fascinating that you never play. I mean, it was such hype. Oh yeah, you just didn't have the phone for it.
Yeah, no. If I had a higher spec phone, I would have been there with everyone else, going out in the evening, hunting around for Pokemon.
It's
but
I
didn't, so I didn't.
Yeah. It's like me.
I didn't want to be there with them. They're like, "Oh, look, I caught Pikachu. I caught," and I'd be like, "I've caught nothing."
Well, yeah, it was like a crazy thing in New York City. I was in New York City.
Yeah, because
there
were Pokestops everywhere when I last went there back in June.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's Pokestop everywhere, and the person who completed the Pokedex first was in a specific area that I used to visit, where there were 3 Pokestops within the circle. It was the only place, probably in the world, that had 3 Pokestops within that specific radius, so he could just keep spinning. And when I remember there was like the news caught people in Central Park. Someone figured out that there was a Vaporeon spawning, and you see this crowd running to catch a Vaporeon. It was wacky.
Yeah, I was gonna ask Pocket. So what Pokemon are available in New York City? That must be like the mecca of catching Pokemon.
Well, so Pokemon, Pokemon Go does a rotation. It's not, the only exclusive stuff is
Regional.
like is strictly regional. It's like US, UK, Australia. Is that it? Right? It's like there's like three different Pokemon. So in the US you can get Tauros, whatever. And they've added more Pokemon that are exclusives, but like overseas you'd be able to get Farfetch'd and Mr. Mime, maybe.
And then I think in another area, and there's also regional variants within the country as well. Like if you go down to the south, you can get Heracross in Florida, or Carnivine, or a few others.
So there are a couple of the later gen ones. Corsola was one. Yeah, and it was my friend. Like I had like friends from whatever country, and I was like, when you head back there, take my phone. I need this Pokemon.
Well, later on they give you the ability to trade.
Yeah, later on you got to trade. That's the thing. Like there's so much that they've added, and it's, I don't know, it's still such a bare bones game, and that's I guess that's important. Yeah, it doesn't. And like Maddie's saying in the chat, Pokemon Go is fun because you can get good Pokemon with good stats and shiny more easily. So yeah, you can getting a shiny in regular Pokemon games used to be crazy hard to do. Now it's a little bit easier, but in Pokemon Go, they'll do days where like a specific Pokemon is more likely to be shiny, and they'll throw out like 100 of them. So if you walk over, you just endlessly find them until you find a shiny one. And then you can trade them to the main game. A lot of them you can trade to the main game, but I don't think their stats are like the stats transfer over or something, or like for some reason I think people don't validate a shiny that came from Pokemon Go because it's so easy. I don't know. Sween says, yeah.
What? Sorry to interrupt you, Pocket. I was just curious what generations of Pokemon are on Pokemon. Is it?
Not all of them. I know that they have up to Generation 6, and they have a few Gen 7 and Gen 8s, but
yeah.
So more than any other standalone Pokemon game.
That's a good question. I don't know. I feel like X and Y, Sun and Moon.
They recently added Pokemon from X and Y, and everybody else added some legendaries from Generation 8.
Yeah, they added. Cool. So there's something from everything, I think, now. Like finally, but obviously not every Pokemon.
Okay.
But wouldn't Gen 7, because the Pokemon Pokedex controversy was on Sword and Shield, which is the latest one. So the one before it, Sun and Moon, or Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, must have had the ability to have every single Pokemon. So that must be the game that you're able to have the most Pokemon in. Just in case there that one person who needs to know that, which is nobody. Sween says, my friend's house was a Pokemon gym and Pokemon Go for Pokemon Go. Pokemon Joe.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, it's weird because it's like a public play.
Yeah,
they wouldn't...
And Sween says it's awful because people would park outside. Yeah, they had to deal with like turning off the raid thing at night because people would just like go up to places and stay there.
Can't you contact the game and have them like remove it as a gym?
Probably you could. You probably could.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, what is more annoying? Christmas carolers just walking up and singing in front of your house, or a bunch of Pokemon Go people raiding in front of your house?
I would probably say Pokemon Go raids because if you're closed.
Because what was that?
Yeah, they probably won't be there in the middle of the night.
I think you said the ears were closed. It just cut out on my side, My170.
Because I mean, if people were outside, if you had like a huge group of people being outside your house, I would be more concerned.
Yeah.
Because if people want to carry on their house, you just like keep the door closed, then they'll move away and go to somewhere else.
Yeah. So the thing I would say, my opinion on this would be, carolers are better because it's not like people are saying, I am here to not do anything infamous. You know, if they're Pokemon Go players, right? They're just people outside of your house standing, watching, waiting. Christmas carolers are establishing what they're doing. So I would say it's the other one is more creepy. Yeah. I used to live above the above a gym. I used to live in I'm like I don't know if I should say exactly where I lived, but I used to live somewhere where I was in a high-rise building. And so I was right above a gym. So it was probably how I got back into Pokemon Go, cuz if you're above a gym, you're doing a lot better than anyone else. I think recently it's gotten a lot better anyways, but if you can, whatever. The point is that I was so high up, and this is a known bug, and I think I saw an article about it recently. If you want to have eggs hatch, and you work in like a high-rise building, GPS does not know how to triangulate. It doesn't know how to triangulate you. So I'd go to I would live on this high whatever, and I just put different different eggs. So the way you hatch eggs in Pokemon Go is you walk a certain distance. But since I'm so high up in the building, it would just move me around if I was standing still.
Oh, okay.
Because the satellite moves or something, and then it doesn't understand where you are because you're not on the ground.
Right.
Yeah, and so that's like an easy weird glitch that you can use.
That you certainly took advantage of, Pocket.
Oh yeah,
And why would you not? Anybody would.
Anybody would. Yeah. Oh man, the memes at the time: strap the phone to your dog so that it runs around, or to your ceiling fan. Yeah, I was like always trying to come up with other things. Those were the fun ones. Those are the yeah. Instead of actually walking like I really should. Yeah. So that's Pokemon Go. If you guys haven't heard of it, it's a game. But no, there's a bunch of crazy news this week. Yeah. So just what Burnt Toast has been waiting for. Jake from Allstate is in NBA 2K22 or something.
Yeah. Yeah, Jake from
State Farm.
Yeah, Jake from State Farm.
Yeah.
Allstate. Jeez, what blasphemy saying Allstate.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's going to be featured in NBA 2K22.
Oh god.
Yeah. It's just like really? Like really? I mean,
I know this is like a stupid meme or something.
Yeah, honestly.
Now the question,
yeah.
Now the question is, can you play as him in a game, and will he be wearing the slacks and the red polo?
He's wearing it in whatever I'm looking at. So I think that's a CGI model of him. That looks CGI. Yeah. I think so.
I can't see it.
There you go.
Oh god.
Yeah. It's honestly good for them, even though this is a complete marketing shill. Like, good for them for coming up with something that makes me, someone who does not care about any of that stuff, be like, okay, I could. You guys got NBA 2K22. I want to play from Jake from State Farm. I want to play. Yeah, I'll get it when the game is 50 cents for that. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To collect like every year of Madden or every year of
You could do it for like $1
I don't even really buy that many sports games, to be honest.
Huh?
Yeah.
What was that?
I don't really play a lot of sports games.
Oh yeah, I never ever. I did growing up, like before I became like a modern gamer. I don't even know what that means, but in going to camp, we'd have a PlayStation, and people would love to play Tony Hawk and NFL Blitz.
NBA Jam?
No, just NFL Blitz for some reason. That was the game.
Yeah.
But NBA, yeah, I might have played some NBA Jam. Like in my house, we also had a wrestling game on the Super Nintendo, and none of us watched wrestling.
Okay.
I don't know how all this stuff. I like always ask my dad comes on the stream on Mondays. I'm like, how did we get these games? Like, who came up with the purchasing decision to get Last Action Hero for the Super Nintendo? Like, I just don't understand this. But alas.
Clearly, your father's very big Schwarzenegger fan.
Well, here's the thing. It felt like these were like quirky, like cult movie things, and we were always cult movie people, cult TV and cult movie people. So Last Action Hero and Lawnmower Man made sense. But it doesn't. Why'd you get the game? Anywho. Yeah. There's a lot to go over with the PlayStation.
Yes.
Showcase.
The PlayStation Direct.
My friend was talking about. Hang on.
But
let me pull up the list of the game.
Yeah,
when I watched it, I took copious notes.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to be prepared for the podcast.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see it. God of War looks exciting. Because I don't have a PS5, so I
didn't want any. Like I took a look at that. I'm like, I can't look at it because I haven't beaten the first God of War. And I also
there weren't really any
no real spoilers?
Major spoilers.
Okay,
in it.
So I'll take a look. Yeah.
It just kind of showed more like the scope of how big the game is.
That's
and
cool.
Now they're incorporating like NPCs into the game. It looks like, and like cities that you can explore.
Awesome.
Yeah. So there's a little bit more of like, because I feel like all the the previous God of War, especially because I played it on my brother's PS4 Pro when he had it. It focuses so much on like the story and like the relationships.
Yeah.
I feel like this is kind of like broadening the scope of the whole game a little bit.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was excited for that God of War, but I'm like, well, I have to beat the first. I actually never beat the first God of War. And on my Boston trip, which was a couple weeks ago, I was like, well, now it's my opportunity because I have it for the Vita. I have like the God of War 1 and 2 for the Vita. I was stuck in middle of it. There's just like one thing where I need to like walk around a desert and find 7 harpies or something. 7 I don't know. I was just like stuck there. It was silly. But no, I just didn't get the time to. It's always been that franchise that like I'm gonna love it. I love hack and slash, but I just haven't had the opportunity to get into it. And especially the new one, it just looked like the previous one. Yeah, the original what reimagining. I don't know, what do you call it? What do you call that? It's a self-titled
revamp.
So I guess
reimagining.
Yeah. Well, it's not a reimagining in the sense of that it is a sequel to God of War 3, but it's starting a new story with the same character.
A soft reboot. Maybe.
Yeah, there you go.
Do you guys watch Red Letter Media? Because they always have the best kind of terms for this. Because they're like, what do we call Ghostbusters 2016? Is it or is it like the Star Wars Force Awakens? It technically takes place after. It's not a reboot. It's a soft sequel reboot, soft C-boot.
Soft C-boot.
Soft C-boot. Yeah, I think that's what they say. Anywho. But no, it looks great. You know.
But no, it looks
yeah.
I haven't, from playing the previous God of War and playing God of War 3 and God of War 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But especially God of War 3. I don't know if it's a PlayStation thing or whatever, because it's PlayStation Studios.
Yeah.
They know how to push that console to like the absolute limit of terms of like how it can look.
Yeah.
Like, because God of War 3, I remember playing that and just like having my mind blown. I was like, this is like in-game stuff, and it looks like
I've got
cinematic. You know, and even going back and playing it like recently, like last year, it still holds up as looking really good.
Yeah, I've got a when my roommate gets his PS5, I think all you have to do is like activate a PS5 with your account, and then you'll get the PlayStation. Okay, this might get a little weird. PlayStation Plus has 20 games that you get for free. If you if you get like a PlayStation 5, I think. And they're all like PS4 games. I think one of them's God of War. So I think I'll be able to play all of them after that, or I can just buy it. But I have to play them already. They're really good. But there are a couple other highlights.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you have the list, Funky Bunch. I've got a random list, but I'd love to see what your highlights were.
So the one I'll start with the one that I was the most excited for.
Yeah.
Which is the Knights of the Old Republic remake.
Yes.
For those of you who don't know, Knights of the Old Republic is probably, if not the best Star Wars game that's ever been made, it's probably in like the top 3.
Super Star Wars. No, yeah. It's a
Oh,
great game,
hey,
but it's not.
yeah.
It's not that deep.
So they're remaking it for the PS5, or it's a complete remake, they say. Redoing like the combat system, which I'm
Yeah.
excited for, because to me that was my barrier to playing the original one, was sort of just like like decision making type of thing. Whereas I feel like this one's probably going to be in the same vein as the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Okay.
If I had to guess, I mean, they haven't really unveiled what
It wasn't
what
turn-based.
combat is going to. The original Knights of the Old Republic based.
It was turn-based?
It was sort of like you would go up to an enemy and it would pause, and then you would have to make decisions about what you do to the enemies. So I'm hoping that this takes sort of the same vein as Final Fantasy VII remake and sort of like makes
it would have to, yeah.
Which would be great, because like that was my biggest thing about playing the original one, was just that it's like kind of slow, and you have to pause every time you want to fight someone, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest issue of getting into it was, by the time I heard about it, it was a like 7-year-old game that I was looking at buying for my phone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have a copy of it on the Amazon store. Like, what's that gonna do for me? On the Amazon app store for Android? Like, what? I'm not gonna play GTA or that on there. But KOTOR was notorious for being fantastic. KOTOR and KOTOR 2.
Oh yeah.
Was KOTOR 2 also kind of turn-based? I remember it all looking pretty action-oriented.
Ever played KOTOR 2?
I haven't played any of them, to be honest, so I wouldn't know for sure.
Yeah.
But
I love Burnt Toast in the comments here. KOTOR was my first intro to Star Wars and never continued anything from then.
I don't know if that suggests.
Yeah.
I know that Star Wars is revered.
Star Wars it's a fantastic 3 movies.
There we go. There's people who are very, very dedicated to the whole thing.
And
I've got several friends.
And I'm even fairly critical of those 3 movies. Sorry, Iznib, I'm cutting you off. Go on.
That's right. No, there's other people like me who are like, yeah, Star Wars is cool, but we don't have a vested interest in it. So I've not played that many Star Wars video games. But Funky was alluding to, I've definitely heard being this legendary game.
That I do know. I've just never played it.
Yeah. And the interesting thing about that PlayStation showcase is that they said that it's for the PS5.
Yeah.
And then I guess they came out with a thing and said it's also going to be on the PC.
Oh, really?
Is it going to be on the Xbox?
Not the Xbox, which is funny because it was an Xbox exclusive.
Yeah, it originally came out for that.
So I don't know if they bought it out from under Xbox or what, but
yeah, I think it's like a theme right now with that specific showcase. They're like, we showed you nothing before about anything. There was no reason to people kept wanting to buy a PS5, but there was no games for it.
Yeah, now
and now
it's just gonna be impossible to get because of the chip shortage.
Yeah,
there aren't any because of COVID. There's a huge
shortage
of the chips. It's the same thing with cars. It's this, like the chips they used to make the PS5. They also used to make cars. And there's also a car shortage.
Yeah,
and the graphics cards. Yeah,
because of all the. So yeah.
Oh my god. Star Wars is too much politics for me to be interested. Burnt Toast says, "I don't care who my local governor is. Def don't care who rules Tatooine." Sorry, go on.
Oh no! I was just gonna say that like some of these other PlayStation Showcase things for me, I don't know. A lot of them didn't hit. A lot of them didn't sort of like hit the mark for me. But there was, Knights of the Old Republic, and then the other 2 that I'm sure you'll probably want so we discussed God of War Ragnarok, but
Good one.
but Spider-Man 2 looks amazing.
Right. Well, they didn't show any gameplay.
Right.
The original
So
that was a great one.
Yeah.
And I mean, I wasn't really super into Spider-Man at the time, but now I am. And now I really like playing it. My friend got me to play it. I was really excited to play it.
I swear, like I haven't played it, but I've played the has to be much worse version of it for PlayStation for GameCube maybe. I feel like it was always a GameCube game. Might have been a PS2 game. There's one where it was, yeah.
No, never mind. Keep talking.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say that there is a like kind of open world Spider-Man game for it's either the PS2 or the GameCube, and that was one of my favorite games. It was awesome. Like you swung around the city, you did these quests. And it was kind of like an old school version of open world, and so I've played a little bit with my roommate Spider-Man for PS4, but I guess I have eyes for that old one, but whatever. It's great. It's a great game, and they made allegedly a great sequel. They didn't show us anything, and we both know it's going to be a great like third game in the series called number 2, which is whatever.
Yeah. Well, I would kind of say game 2.5. I mean, that Miles Morales game was great, but it definitely felt sort of like it didn't feel like a true sequel to it.
Allegedly, it was very short.
Yeah, it felt more just like a people over until Spider-Man 2 comes out.
Yeah,
let's sort of like give them something.
Let's give something for people who own a PS5.
Yes. And actually, so one of my biggest gripes, because my brother is like one of the only people that I know that has a PS5. He bought it like midnight when it was available,
Yeah.
And so I played that game, and the fact that they redid Peter Parker's face, they remodeled his face.
Oh, really?
From the PS4 version. That really kind of irked me, just because it felt it to me it screams of Marvel getting involved and going like, hey, you need to make Peter Parker look like Tom Holland, please.
Yeah.
And
which is super weird when you think about it, because if you look at the Guardians of the Galaxy, which is the game that I'm most interested in because it's snarky and I love that stuff.
Yeah.
Not because it's a good game. We have no idea what it's gonna be like. They went far away from the Peter Quill we have in the movies. I don't know if that's like comic book Peter Quill, but it's they went far away from Andy from Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like a lot of the
I'll be right back. Hang on. I gotta go take care of stuff.
Go for it. Go for it. Godspeed. He's going to save the world, guys. Miles Morales was a fancy DLC. Amen. That is a very good way to put it. Yeah, and then we got well, anything else on Spider-Man before I move on to Wolverine?
Say was I'm excited for Venom to be involved in it.
Yeah, I didn't know Venom wasn't involved by this time. And also it's weird because you have both Spider-Man and you have Miles Morales. So how do you balance two Spider-Men? Because they clearly showed two of them in the same action sequence.
Yeah.
So maybe you get to like switch off, which is actually really cool.
In the original Spider-Man I would say like 90% of the time you played as Peter Parker, but then the other 10% you played as Mary Jane.
Okay.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they did that, if they did some levels are Peter Parker, some levels are Miles Morales.
They showed combat, like CGI combat,
right,
where they did a tag team thing.
What I'm hoping for is like co-op, 2-player co-op.
That'd be really cool, and there's no demand for it. Multiverse. There's no multiverse. They don't need to do multiverse for it. I would love multiverse, but yeah, there's no way they're doing co-op. There's no demand for co-op.
And that makes me sad.
Maybe online co-op. If you want your game to die, make it focused around co-op. I just don't think there's any demand.
Which is sad, because I would love to have like a game with really good local co-op again.
Yeah, and there are some, like A Way Out, Two Brothers.
Yeah.
Love in Dangerous Space Time. What are the other ones? Trying to remember. Even Donkey Kong isn't.
Oh, what about it? Sorry, I missed what you said.
Okay. Games that have really good local co-op that are recent.
It Takes Two co-op?
It Takes Two.
Co-op?
That game was based around it.
Yeah. Castle Crash. Well,
Castle Crashers. Yeah.
It's more old. That's older though. Yeah, we said recent.
Counts.
Yeah, the one that it draws to my head is a Way Out.
A Way Out, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a game that's specifically designed around it.
Right. Yeah.
And same with It Takes Two.
Overcooked? Oh no.
No, Overcooked is not though, right?
That's the game you play to scream at each other.
I played it for a little bit, and I'm like, I gotta take a break and a couple pills before I take another level. Like, no.
That's one of those ones you gotta be like, you have to. That's the one. I said this before. If I ever have like a girlfriend or a significant other, we have to play that to make sure that we can communicate with each other.
It's a fair point. Like, hey, high intensity situations. I think that's a very smart thing to do. You got to test yourself in those crazy. Moving Out is another one. I think.
Yeah. But anyways, I'm sorry that I know that you wanted to talk about Wolverine, and I.
Oh yes, and I do see that Burnt Toast shared an IGN reaction to Venom, and I have to take a look at this. Obviously not now. I have to take a look at this later.
One quick little aside:
the
voice of Venom. The voice of Venom is going to be
Is it movie Venom?
I forgot his first name. No. So it's going to be the voice of the original Candyman.
Candyman. Okay.
Something Todd. But he's a big voice actor guy in
Mike is. Okay, that's awesome. Getting proper voice actors to do things is awesome. Yeah, I don't know. There's so many voice actors go. I feel like you can get good voice actors for fairly cheap because they're not high profile. I don't know.
Yeah. Although games are getting more and more high profile regular actors to be in games. I mean, they're doing motion capture stuff now.
I feel like that's just the
I was looking at even like there's other games like Kingdom Hearts is like actual high profile actors. To be fair, that's different because it's Disney. But...
Yeah, it's Disney. Right. They're just like, hey, you want 20%, 2% more on X? Here, do this.
Like I was and noticed how that had a very like high profile voice cast for that game.
Right.
Yeah, it's so interesting. But yeah, it's Disney, and so they own everything. They own The Simpsons, and Alien. Looking forward to that crossover. Tony Todd. Yeah, we got a Wolverine thing, and it was a guy in a cowboy hat. So I don't know what's going on over there. Because you take a game like Spiderman, it appeals to the everyman. He's just a kid,
right,
in the Bronx, especially like every gamer, right?
Right.
It's a nerdy kid in he's not in the Bronx, he's in Queens, if I'm correct. Because Captain America is
from Brooklyn.
Is from Brooklyn. He's from Queens. Someone else from the Bronx? I don't know.
Doctor Strange, I believe, is from Manhattan.
He's from Manhattan. Yeah. I think and they've got Hell's Kitchen. Who owns the Bronx? Which superhero owns the Bronx? Because Hell's Kitchen is Daredevil and like
Harlem is Luke Cage.
Yeah, Harlem's Luke Cage. I don't know why, but I have to know this if someone comes up with who is the superhero for the Bronx. Because that's where actually Stan Lee grew up. So
okay.
Yeah. And that's also just extraneous information. Stan Lee and my father. Wolverine looks interesting, but like, how do you really? I don't know. If it feels very. They gave us a teaser, right?
What I'm hoping that they kind of go. So there was a game 60 that was the X-Men Origins Wolverine game.
Oh yeah, that was one of the game. That was like one of those games that was actually better than the movie.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, by far.
And you said on 360, yeah.
I believe it was 360 and PlayStation 3, maybe. But it was violent.
Yeah.
It was gory. And I'm wondering if they're going to continue with that and just kind of expand on it for this game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I haven't. I didn't play those, and Burnt Toast here played X2, Wolverine's Revenge. Wolverine, which I think that was just like a movie game. X2. I don't know.
That makes sense. Yeah,
It
like
sounds
a
like it.
tie-in for the second movie.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no way. It's got to be using the same engine as Spider-Man. Well, it feels like it would be, but I don't think they're using the same engine for Marvel's Avengers or Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm. It's just interesting that Marvel with Insomniac is making these great games.
Yeah.
And then I saw a trailer for another Marvel game called Midnight Suns.
Yes.
And I was like, I am not optimistic on this game.
Honestly, that game's probably gonna be good. It's just probably not gonna be your type. I don't know, cause like it's SOCOM, and so I realized that the other games I mentioned are not made by Insomniac, I think, and this is made by Insomniac, so they may use the same engine. And Midnight Suns looks so weird that I would be down to like kind of try it, but I'm not a SOCOM guy.
Yeah, I would try it.
Yeah. What about you, Iznib? I have the question of: have you played a Marvel game? Any Marvel game like that Super Nintendo one? I've played, like, one of my favorite games growing up was some you could play as Beast or Wolverine or whatever as a Super Nintendo game.
You would think everyone would have, but now you put me on the spot, Pocket. I'm trying to think of
if it makes it easier, we could say a Disney game, right?
Yeah, anything owned by the conglomerate known as Disney.
Yeah,
I'm sure I played as a youngster Mickey Mouse Castle of Illusion.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I enjoyed that a lot.
That's on the 3DS and 360 or something.
Oh, okay.
I think it originally came out on the Sega Genesis.
Oh, okay, so maybe I'm wrong. Because there's like a magical mirror game for the 3DS, I think.
I don't know that, but Marvel specifically,
if you can come up with it.
I don't know. I think there was a Thor game on the 360 I played, which was not very good.
I can confirm that there is a Thor for the 3DS as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with superhero franchises. It's because they have that mass appeal. You do get that sense that they will publish a video game based on a character or a team of characters, and if it's a shame to say it may be more of a cash-in than an artistic endeavor. Therefore, the video game itself is not going to be very good.
Yeah, it's shovelware typically, but
the original characters may. Please tell me, Pocket. I'll make some notes.
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, the Spider-Man for the PS5, and there's one Spider-Man game I know of.
Yeah, I unfortunately do not have a PS5.
Well, PS4 as well.
No, I don't have PS4.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, for future reference, though.
PS2. I think the one that I was mentioning.
I do have a PS2.
It's probably jank by now.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it?
A cult classic. I would say it's a cult game because I noticed it's out of stock at GameStop. And it's whatever. It was when there were more GameCube games. Hulk Ultimate Destruction. Was an open world Hulk game. And it was fantastic. And you would get more powerful as the game went on. And you could run up buildings. You can pick up cars and smash them together to make gloves.
What console was that?
Wait, what?
It was awesome. Yeah, you would take cars and like smash your hands into them to make gloves.
Oh my god, that sounds dope.
And you'd pick up tanks and throw them at things, and you would have the power. Like, it was that first game, I guess, in my world where like you could run up buildings and then jump and lunge yourself from building to building. Like,
sounds cool.
Yeah, it was solid. If they make a Hulk game, I'm in. Because you really feel the power in that one. I want to see how much that is online. Because I always waited for it to come up on GameStop. Because I do their deals whenever they have them, but it was never available because it's a game that people like. I think.
Yeah.
Iznib, I would also recommend the like Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
And X-Men Legends series that's on PS2.
Okay.
Those are sort of like
game.
yeah, they're essentially the same game just with different characters.
Okay.
They're action RPGs essentially.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, because if they were like fighting games, then that's not that's not really my wheelhouse.
Honestly, they're Diablo. They are.
Oh, okay, that's cool. I could go with a little bit of
It's simplified Diablo. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can control multiple characters. So
Yeah.
you have like a
cool.
team of 4.
You have a team of 4, and so you can have your friends be the 4, or you can switch between them, or with AI taking control of the ones that you're not playing as. And I went back to the second one, and I was like trying to play it. I was like, I'm bored, but I want to try that again because it always had the coolest characters. Like Deadpool, I think was the second one. The X-Men one, you get like so many. You get like 20 characters to choose from or something.
Yeah.
It's really cool. So instead of having a tree, you get like, I think you get evolved, like leveled up versions of spells or something. So like leveled up Wolverine slash, or that slash changes. But like there's 20 characters or something stupid. It's great, and they just came out with an exclusive for the Switch like a year ago. The Ultimate Alliance 3.
Right.
So.
And to be honest, when I saw that Midnight Suns trailer, I thought it was another Marvel Ultimate Alliance game. And I was like, ooh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I don't know, they made a way to make superheroes into an RPG. Great. Like, whatever. It's very accessible. That's basically what I have to say on that.
Excellent.
Yeah. So there are abundance of great Marvel games because superheroes make for pretty decent gameplay as long as it's not shovelware.
Right.
But what do we have? What do we have next on that list? There were a couple weird RPGs.
Yeah, Iznib would like this. The creators of Borderlands have created a fantasy style game called Tiny Tina's Wonderlands.
Yes. Yeah. We're very aware of this. We were discussing it the other day. It's interesting that it was at the PlayStation showcase though, because I assume it's going to be on everything. But
like Bethesda.
Why not?
It's EA, Gearbox. It's Gearbox.
Yeah, Gearbox and 2K.
If I had contract for a certain time of exclusivity, then it goes to the other guys. If I had
to look into that,
I feel like everyone's doing that these days.
Yeah. But yes, no, you're right, Funky. We're very excited about it. Myself, Steph, and Mer, I think, assuming the release date isn't different on Xbox, we're just working off the fact that if it was released in March, that'll probably be roughly the time we're finishing our series. So we're like, is this fate? Maybe it is. We shall see.
Yeah. It'll be great.
And we'll just dive straight into it as soon as it's released. We shall see, though.
Seems,
It looks very much like it's just essentially Borderlands 4, but less sci-fi and more fantasy. It looks fantastic, what I've seen of it.
Yeah, it allows you to have like a lot of quirky elemental things, which is very interesting. Yes. But I think they might miss out a little bit, because when I first heard of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, the first thing I thought of was Oddworld. Weird comparison, but Oddworld Stranger's Wrath, where you had a crossbow with like living things. And so one of the coolest things I've seen in shooting games is to have weapons that are just not a gun.
Those are always and those games usually go a lot
further, probably.
They go a lot. They're more unique, and I feel more fun. It feels a lot more fun playing.
Right.
Yeah.
And so this has a lot of elemental abilities, but like, and I'm gonna put some praise on a game that doesn't deserve any, but like the South Park game had.
Oh, I feel like I remember that.
Yeah, the South Park game for the N64, built on the Turok engine, had like had like remote control grenades, but they were like Terrence and Phillip dolls, so it was like poison gas. So it was
of course.
Terrence and Phillip fart,
you had the yellow snowballs.
Yeah, you had yellow snowballs. You had regular snowballs, which you could make yellow. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you had like, I mean, the guns that they had in there were very inventive. You had a Nerf gun as a turret, a chicken gun, which would shoot eggs or something. There was, but more importantly, they had things like the hypno ray and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I guess it's just like come up with stuff like that, or with Oddworld, where it was like little different beings in the world would be your ammunition.
Okay.
They were like, there's like lightning rats or something, and those would be your ammunition for like a lightning pellet or lightning bullet. So like, I don't know. I feel like it's sort of a missed opportunity, but not so much. Because they are doing a ton of elemental stuff, a ton of weird weapons. So
Right.
I don't
right.
know. I don't know. I'm just a weirdo with all this.
That's right, Pocket. It's not long been.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you're right, absolutely right, Funky. I'm very intrigued by that.
Mhm.
I don't think it's necessarily going to be a bad thing having, less guns and more. I don't know. Melee combat. I don't know exactly what it's going to be, but I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun.
I think
regardless.
I think it's BioShock-esque, where like you've guns and then you
That's a
have your
good one.
second hand as like electro or whatever spells, whatever spell equipped would be.
Yeah.
Ice Storm, whatever. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then we got the Square Enix thing, the Forspoken trailer.
Yeah, I was looking
Yeah.
at that before. Yeah, that was
Which my first note that I took was this is the exact plot of the Chronicles of Narnia.
Oh, really?
Because it was like this woman got sucked into this other world, and now she's having to like fight against like the enemy of that world. I was like, that's Chronicles of Narnia, the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Where's Aslan?
Yeah, exactly.
In the DLC.
Yeah.
I mean, I could totally see that. That makes
But
perfect
I mean,
sense.
it looked really cool.
Yeah. I was gonna move on to other things, but yeah. Anything else on the
go ahead.
Forspoken? No. Okay.
Nope.
The remasters. So we had KOTOR. We talked about that. Alan Wake and Grand Theft Auto 5. Alan Wake is probably gonna be. It's probably one of those games that would look better with a remaster. Haven't seen so much of it. And then Grand Theft Auto 5 is kind of funny.
Because like it's been almost 10 years
Yeah.
since they released that, and they just keep remastering it for every system instead of just making.
Oh, we're talking Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto 5, because Alan Wake was actually like out of stock for a while because of something to do with like the music, but then now they're making a new one.
That's right.
So
that's right.
I think that's what. I don't know if y'all.
No, so I'll just say for Grand Theft Auto, like I feel like they could use the manpower that that they use to make these remasters on each system and just dedicate them to making Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yeah, but they're not.
Are they not working on Grand Theft Auto 6? I thought they were.
I'm sure they are. But
it would speed things up a little.
Yeah.
I think it was Funky's point.
Yeah, it's quite, dude. What's funny is the title is Next Gen Grand Theft Auto 5. It's like revealed or something. It was shown,
but it's been delayed.
Like, man, I can't wait for Grand Theft Auto 5 to come out.
I can't wait for there to be a. I can't wait for there to be a Grand Theft Auto 5 on my PS7.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh dear.
As for the Alan Wake though, like that was a game that I really enjoyed on the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm planning on playing it in October as like a spooky game.
Spooky.
Good choice. Good choice, Funky.
We'll see. I've also recommended Steph Babies play it too, because she has a poll for like a community, like playing a scary game.
Yeah.
So I figured that would be like
also
a
good choice.
Yeah, good choice. But yeah, no, I thought it was a good story and like cool game mechanics where you had to like shine lights on people and then you can attack them. But yeah, so that's my 2 cents on it.
That's cool. Yeah, we got. I never played it, so I mean, I have such a backlog. But we got Another, we got Uncharted being remade. It's great that they're remaking everything. They're just remaking everything.
Feels like every game is just being remade. It's like
everything.
like nothing new is being made.
But there's enough in this. There's enough in the State of Play or whatever this was.
Yeah.
PlayStation Showcase.
And the Uncharted games will come to the PC too.
Ooh.
So.
Right.
Well, I already have the compilation of my PS4, but that's still nice for those.
Yeah.
We did get the Vampire the Masquerade's Blood Hunt trailer.
Yeah.
The Deathloop trailer and the Radiohead thing. The Vampire thing looked pretty. I don't know. Like sometimes these games just look like a blur to me.
Right. Yeah.
Deathloop has an interesting premise, but I think it's just supposed to be. It's got to be a multiplayer game, right? It's got to be like a like an online multiplayer game where you just shoot each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then
and I feel like
story.
and I feel like Blood Hunt is similar in that sense that it's an online multiplayer type thing.
Yeah. And then we get Radiohead, because Radiohead is, it made it.
I feel like they did that just so no one could stream their trailer.
Yeah. Gearing up for a kind of visual and musical artistic exhibition. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, why are you taking up space in the showcase?
What's that mean?
Yeah, like, okay. Hey guys, we want to do something cool. Okay, just launch it and tell people about it. Like, I don't know. Yeah, so overall, Spider-Man 2, probably.
Yeah, I would say like the main things to take away are Spider-Man 2, God of War,
Wolverine,
and the Knights of the Old Republic remake, probably.
But also Wolverine is just a teaser. like never invest in a teaser.
Right.
I mean, the exception. Yeah. Sorry.
What was it? Oh no.
Yeah, it's
never invest in a teaser unless it's Spider-Man, because they're using the same engine. Like, there's just no way they're changing it. And it's a good engine.
Yeah.
I skipped over to Gran Turismo because you have to.
It looks beautiful. It looks gorgeous, but it's like I've never been a racing game guy, so
me neither. Man. So
can we talk?
Yeah.
Can I mention the Breath of the Wild / Wind Waker ripoff?
Oh yeah. I only took a look at that a little bit. What is the deal with that one? That's the only game I. Yes.
It's called. I don't know how it's pronounced. I think it's called Chia.
Yeah.
Chia.
It's like.
Was it also the PlayStation, or is it just?
It's the only game I didn't know. Yeah.
Wait, hang on. Let me find this.
It's like the only game I didn't mention. How's it look?
It looks kind of like between Wind Waker and Breath of the Wild in terms of graphics. Like, it has sort of like the simplicity of in terms of like character development as Wind Waker, but it sort of has like the overall engine of Breath of the Wild in terms of like how nice the world looks. But yeah, I like I didn't know what to make of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at a trailer of it.
I didn't either. I was like, what? And if you don't want to talk about that, there are a couple new fun stories as well that I saved from this week.
It looks like Moana, kind of.
It's very
that's
Moana,
what I thought it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was Moana, like the video game.
I looked like it. So it's ripping off Zelda and it's ripping off Moana.
I love how I looked at it. I'm like, I know this from somewhere, and you just pulled it out. Like,
it's
totally Moana. Yeah, that's good.
And then there was a Rainbow Six game that is all of a sudden now them fighting aliens as opposed to like aliens versus instead of like a spy action type thing, now it's
spies in space,
soldiers versus yeah
weird. But there were some other crazy things that happened this week, like Sonic Colors coming out and being like Like
glitches.
Like, hey, you know how Sonic Colors is like one of the only good Sonic games? We're gonna just delete that. It's gonna get fixed with the patch. But Sonic Colors came out, and in its current state, which was, maybe they put out a patch already, it's glitchy. It's apparently seizure inducing.
Oh wow.
I've seen a bit of it.
Not a good selling point, is it?
Not quite a selling point unless you're using it as some sort of medication for something else. Sonic Colors, tell your friends. Sonic Too Many Colors is
There you go. Sonic of many colors.
Sonic of, yeah. And it's really funny because I wasn't excited for the game and everyone else was. And then they come out, like, some of the stuff, apparently it has load times that are worse. Like, somehow they went,
original version?
yeah. Like, how do you go
Wow.
that far backwards?
That's no good to
How
say.
do you do that? How do you pull that off?
Oh dear.
Yeah. But there's other fun things like that happened this week, like Epic bless its heart. This is the title. Epic bless its heart is trying to sell an Unreal demo Fortnite skin. So to show off Unreal's new technology, I think it was Unreal 5 or something, they had this visual, like, Unreal and Unity to do this. They do like technical showcases where they show what you can make. And obviously it's a tech demo, so it's the best of the best. And it was just like a lady, like think Tomb Raider-esque, Mayan type treasure chest, opening it up and something else happening. I don't know. And so they're selling the Unreal tech demo character as a skin in Fortnite. They were that ballsy.
They were
Wow.
selling it.
Yep, they were selling it.
Not even an actual character. Not from an actual game.
No.
Just, hey, Fortnite players, don't you want to give us some more money?
Don't you want to give
Yeah.
us? It's like $8, I think. I think it's like a cheaper
seriously?
skin. I think yeah. No,
Is
Fortnite
that
skins are like
cheaper?
$15 to $20.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Guys, I hate to break to you, I've never played Fortnite.
And
No,
you know what?
neither have I, Funky.
You're probably
don't worry
better
about it.
off. You're probably better
Yeah.
off. Yeah, it's 800 V-bucks. I've been playing it since a couple seasons ago. Embarrassingly, second I picked it up, I was like,
That's kind of a statement there, isn't it?
yeah,
Funky's
like,
I've played it.
yeah.
I'm embarrassed to admit it though.
Super embarrassed to admit it. Like, there'd be a bunch of craziness going on, and I'd be like, you know what? But I can play a round or two of this and unlock, like, when I was playing it, it was the Marvel season, so I was able to unlock, Wolverine, and honestly, I didn't really care about Wolverine. I cared about having Rocket Raccoon behind me at all times, like looking out. You can unlock that type of thing, and now I have Rick and Morty, and so it's like, it's weird that it is actually coming up on being almost a bigger crossover than Smash Brothers. You have Fortnite skins for, specifically within the video game realm, the Ryu, the Street Fighter, I think 3 or 4 Street Fighter characters. You have Lara Croft Tomb Raider. You have Master Chief and Kratos.
That's quite a collection.
It's quite a collection, and then you have all the other characters that are in Fortnite, like, Rick and Morty, the Mandalorian. I think Darth Vader's in there. It's crazy. Like,
I can now I totally understand why they wanted to get out for on the dollar that they had to pay Apple, because they're probably paying out the wazoo to get all these characters.
Yeah, right.
I think they're not. I think that they're cutting deals with Sony, with specifically Disney. I think that they're cutting deals with Disney to give them licenses for, because Fortnite's owned by Epic, and Epic is the leading engine and Disney uses it for probably Insomniac, the Spider-Man stuff. So I guess they don't own Spider-Man. They own Wolverine. They own Guardians of the Galaxy.
Sony owns Spider-Man.
Sony owns Spider-Man.
Right.
So
but they own Spider. So because I think there was like a deal where Sony had the opportunity to get all the Marvel characters, but then they said, "Oh, we only want Spider-Man because who cares about the other ones?" And, well, we all saw how that turned out.
Well, it's actually quite funny because I believe right now the biggest asset for Sony as a company is Spider-Man.
Spider-Man,
yeah. Which is just crazy. But Kingdom Hearts, any Disney property, if there's any Disney thing and they're using a game engine, they have to pay a certain fee. And so they might be cutting costs by licensing out their characters to Epic. That's my personal random guess, because there's a lot of Disney involvement in Fortnite. So,
okay,
yeah, it's a weird take, but it's a take. I'll give you another one over here. I'm gonna see if I can share it, but it's a Skyrim mod. Quote Skyrim mod that we all should be playing. Let me find our group here. It is the Chick-fil-A mod or something. Yeah. Security is extremely vigilant. It is also easily fooled. So it's a Skyrim mod. I think you're in a Chick-fil-A. Now I'm getting a 404.
Oh yeah, I see it.
I'm looking at it.
Okay. I'm getting a 404.
Oh, the TikTok is gone, but
yeah.
No.
So this would be perfect.
Yeah, the TikTok video that this was set to private, but
okay. So this would be absolutely perfect if you could play this on Skyrim on a KFC console.
Oh my god. There you go. There you go. You know what? That's what KFC needs to do. KFC needs to make a Skyrim mod. That's all they have to do.
No, I know.
Right? Sneak King, I think people enjoyed Sneak King.
You'd be surprised how many pies that KFC has their fingers in. That's a
promotional item. Both of those are just promotional items.
Right, but I'm saying that they've done a lot of that type of stuff. They just came out with a romance novel.
Right. They also did
a KFC romance novel.
They also did the episode of Community.
Oh really?
I think Community? They did too. Yeah.
Wait, with KFC there was the one where you shot me up when you said Community, because there was the one where they go into the space simulator.
Yeah, exactly.
With from the 80s. That was one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah, and you know what?
We are 30, 40 light years away from the Buttermilk Nebula, although it is possible. It's a sticker.
It's a sticker. Yeah, it's if anyone does not watch Community, it is a great. Obviously, it's a great show, but that KFC has been in a couple shows, and I feel like they've allowed things that shouldn't be allowed. I feel like they were something in South Park at one point.
I mean, it makes KFC look pretty bad. I don't know if they were affiliated, but
well, yeah, maybe I'm thinking of a different show, because they had something where it was clearly they had some partnership with KFC, and they allowed KFC to look wacky, just like Community did.
Okay.
It's so weird, so weird. But yeah, was there anything else this week that you guys were particularly amused with, specifically at Iznib? Anything cool going on this week?
Yeah.
We've only got a couple more minutes. So you don't need to worry.
What's going on?
No,
Pocket.
Being in your own world is so much better.
Yeah, no, I'm just honestly, that's how my life is. I'm just focused on my own stream for the most
Yeah.
part. So that's why I'm glad to know you guys. So you can educate me on what's actually going on in the real world, or at least the world of video games.
The world of video games, definitely. I mean, yeah.
I mean, real world. Who knows what that is? But
Yeah.
there's nothing I can think of that I'm aware of specifically that's been going on.
Yeah, right on. And so we'll start wrapping things a bit up. Before this, I would like to still thank all you guys because I had like I had all these computer issues that I was just dealing with and I had to figure out something about. And then I had on Thursday I figured out I had a family emergency. I had to go and like just take care of my brother's basement was flooded and I had to whatever, clear out everything. And you guys came through last minute, so I was able to pull this off. Even though it comes out like it's coming through a 60K modem or whatever.
That's not the point.
It's
We're
not
here,
the point.
We did it.
Exactly. And the audio is golden. And
Right.
That's what matters to me. So let's go around and tell people one more time about your channels. Last time we went, this time let's go with Mike 170.
Now that I'm not muted, so
yeah,
okay.
right.
So once again, My170 Nintendo streamer and streamer of all things retro and other new things as well. This week I got something big coming up. This Saturday at noon, I'll be doing an all-day stream playing one round of every Mario Party game from the Nintendo 64.
One round?
Well, 20.
One game. Okay.
Yeah. 20 turn round of each game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in Super. And we will be also for a 500 follower celebration, and we'll be also raising money for Starlight Children's Foundation to raise money for different incentives depending on how much you donate. That'll shake up the game and other fun stuff.
Yeah.
It'll be an all-day event.
Cool.
That's awesome. Man, I need to figure out how to get that working. All of those games. Yeah. I guess Funky Bunch, you want to go next?
Sure. So, you can catch me on my channel at the Funky Bunch Show. I stream on Wednesday and Friday afternoons, Saturday nights, and Sunday afternoons.
I already followed you back. So
thank you.
He's a good dude.
And I usually. One day is a retro day. One day is what I call Funky Fridays, where we play like an odd, unusual game, or like an indie game, something like that.
When do we get Funky Kong Day?
Funky Kong Day. I do need to start playing Trouser Snazzer. My friend Trouser Snazzer, he said that I should play Donkey Kong 64. So
definitely a favorite. Yeah.
I might be playing that in November, depending on who wins a contest on my Discord.
Oh yeah, wow.
We do a thing where we watch like some on who's gonna win, and then whoever wins gets a gift sub, and then gets to pick a game for me to play.
Oh boy,
cool.
That's awesome. All good things.
I just started a fitness Instagram, sort of. Just a way to keep me accountable and kind of focus on my fitness. So if you want to check that out, it's just at Funky Bunch Fitness.
Yeah. Make sure to message me or whatever. I'll have to find that, follow it myself. Iznib.
Yeah, so I'm actually
Oh.
changing my good on you, Funky, for getting on your fitness.
Seriously.
I respect that a lot. It's hard, not important. It's worth taking the time to do it, and you haven't got to go crazy. I certainly don't, but it's it's definitely something worth doing.
There's a fun I think I found it. I found it.
Awesome.
Excellent. I expect you, Funky. You've got links on your Twitch anyway, don't you? So
I will put it on.
If you haven't, get it on there, bud. Like I've got mine on there, and my Insta's similar. It's just that I don't know if anyone wants to look at it. But here it is anyway. But yes, I'm actually. This is my first week where I'm actually changing my schedule slightly.
Okay.
I've always done Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday. I'm actually
Tuesday, Wednesday,
changing
Saturday,
Tuesdays
yeah.
to Thursdays now.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I will be back on Wednesday, and for the very first time Thursday. No Borderlands this Saturday. Steph and Mer are busy. I think Mer's busy this week and Steph's busy the week after. So we're focusing on our Final Fantasy series playthrough. We're deep into Final Fantasy X at the moment.
Nice.
Welcome to join us, anybody, on Wednesday. You'll find me. Iznib, if you don't know me.
Super cool stuff. Yeah. I mean, like,
Dope.
yeah.
No,
Oh, dope. Yeah, and I mean, this has been the craziest month for me. I've never had this where I have like a bunch of holiday stuff I have to do, so my schedule has been way out of whack, but I'm still trying to do you know, the consistent podcast and the consistent, you know, however many streams a week. So everyone has these lives and they all get crazy, and you guys are consistent regardless. You guys figure out the time and things will smooth out. This is really cool.
Yeah.
Thank you all, obviously.
Thank you for having us,
and
Pocket.
for bearing with me through the entire process. And thank you everyone at home watching now or in the you know, the Nintendo 64 recording of this later at home. This has been podcast 22, September 12th, and it's been a freaking delight. So thank you guys. Since I still don't know anyone who streams on Twitch, I guess we will end it over here. Catch you guys.